2 Corinthians has a verse that is often ignored and sometimes not ignored but misused. It's a verse that talks about being unequally yoked. And the question has been raised to me, is being friends with non-Christians an example of being unequally yoked? And I guess my response is that depends. The point of the passage is that we are not to be bound together, this is another translation, connected strongly with people who have different points of view on critical matters, spiritual things, moral things, than we do. And the picture there is of two oxen being yoked together, and if they're tied together and one starts to pull off the track, it can pull the other one off the track as well. And Paul says we should not be unequally yoked to non-believers. Now, what would be an example of unequally yoked? Well, I think certainly marriage would be an example of that. Certain types of business deals and partnerships would be examples of that. Wherever you're in a circumstance where you're tied together so much with a believer that their way of life, their values, their worldview will function to pull you off the straight and narrow, either in your beliefs or convictions or in your behaviors. So that's what Paul's getting at there. Does this mean we should never have any contact with non-believers? No, of course not. In fact, Paul in 1 Corinthians addresses that directly. 1 Corinthians 5, I think. He said, I told you not to associate with immoral people. He said, I didn't mean immoral people of the world, because then you'd have to go out of the world. And of course, we're sent into the world to take our message of love, reconciliation, forgiveness to those people. We can't be isolated. He was talking about associating with immoral people in the church. And if we have people that are just living like hell in the church, then maybe that means they're going there. And that should be addressed in the community of Christians, and that's what he's addressing there in 1 Corinthians 5. No, we should be connected with unbelievers in a regular fashion, just as Jesus was, but we are not to be yoked together with them in a way that's going to compromise our own convictions and our own behavior. Now, where is that line? That's something you're going to have to reflect on, pray about, and get counsel from other Christians regarding. Definitely marriage, without question, is beyond that line. You want to be yoked together with someone who shares your convictions and who has a track record with the Lord, so that you, as a married couple, can continue that track record. Again, business deals and some other things, those may qualify. Think of Psalm chapter 1, the first couple verses. This gives us some insight also into inappropriate kind of connectedness with non-believers. But going out of the world, isolating ourselves, pulling up the drawbridge, circling the wagons, no, not at all. We need to be out there with those people who desperately need the gospel.